I have been thinking a lot about judgment lately. Part of it is, it's my job. I do it often in the context of coaching and training. And part of it is I'm taking a class called Positive Intelligence, and it's been illuminating my own personal judger in different ways that I'm finding really resourceful. And one thing that I became acutely aware of recently that I thought would be helpful to share, when I react internally to a judgment someone else gives me, or if I feel like they're judging me in a certain way, or even if it's feedback that I don't like or I respond to, a large part of that is because it lands on or near a judgment that I already have about myself. It's close to a self-judgment, and it's not what they say, it's what I'm already saying that is causing the reaction. I'll give you an example. As I'm going through this example, please stay with the context because it could get really easy to get stuck in the content. So elevate, stay with the context. On Instagram, every now and then there is a person who I don't know who will comment about my eyebrows. They don't care for my eyebrows for whatever reason. I don't know. And the first 3 times or so that this happened, it bothered me and I deleted it. And it happened again and started being more frustrated by it, feeling insecure, deleting it. And then because I was pondering it, like, why does this bother you so much? It bothers me because after going through chemo and losing a lot of my hair, losing my eyebrows, losing my eyelashes, and things are kind of not quite growing back all the way yet, I don't like how I look. Now, this is an opportunity for you to go into context, okay, not the content. This is not about that particular content. This is a judgment that I noticed I have about myself. So whenever they said whatever they said, because who cares? I cared, but I only cared because it resonated with something I was already saying to myself. And perfectly in alignment with provision, today I made a post and that person commented again about my glasses and my eyebrows. And I thought, I'm not going to delete it because it's not about them. My reaction, my internal response is really about me, and it's about my own judgment. And it gave me such a beautiful opportunity for me to wrestle with my own judgment and get off my own judgment about myself and notice my own judgment about myself instead of making it about somebody that I don't even know. So here's the invitation. Notice where you might be in a similar situation. Maybe you've heard feedback or someone makes a comment and it really bothers you, or you feel hurt, or you feel discouraged. And just check in. Is that because perhaps it's something you're already insecure about, something you're already saying to yourself, and they just tapped it, they hit it. And that's why it's a sore spot. And the good news about that is I get to manage my own internal judgments about myself. And it gave me the opportunity to see something that I didn't quite see before. And it gives you the opportunity to see something new as well. If you find yourself in those situations, man, I believe we all find ourselves in those situations at times. So that's number one. That's the one way that judgment can hit us. I think sideways would be a way I look at it. It's almost like getting T-boned by a judgment. You get flanked by it. Didn't see it coming, and there it was. But there it was because it was already over here, is what I'm asking you to consider. The second way I've seen this occur is if I'm holding a judgment about someone I haven't forgiven, and someone speaks that same judgment to me about me, it's really hard to hear. For example, if I grew up with a very raging, unpredictable, angry parent, and someone says, well, you seem angry, my initial response is, no, I'm not, because being angry is bad. Because I have this unforgiveness, this bitterness around being angry, and being angry is bad and wrong. Now, it is a very distinct use of energy. And what I noticed for me is that the more I attempted to not be angry because it was bad, the more I just pushed the anger down until I actually became explosive. Almost like a pressure cooker.
Do you think it's trying to tell us something?
where it's in there, the pressure's on, and it makes that sound, tick, 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 tick. At least the old school ones make that sound. You may not be familiar with that sound if you're using an Instapot, but if you don't release the steam, it's gonna blow. And we're not too different from that. So those two ways I've noticed are ways that we can get flanked by judgments. Some we hold against ourselves, some we hold against other people. And when they're coming our way, for whatever reason, and let's just believe for a few moments that everything that comes our way can be used for us, can be a provision, can be food for our vision. When they come our way, what can we do? What are ways to respond that are resourceful, that can bring awareness, that can bring healing, that can bring beauty, completely regardless of how the other person may or may not have intended it? I have a whole video about this called It's All Manna. What if we received whatever came our way with the attitude of heart, that it's the provision, that is the food, that is the nourishment for that day? Not necessarily for every single day for the rest of our lives, but definitely for that day. What could change? So pause and notice. When do you get reactive internally? When do you feel your body tense up? When do you engage in ruminating negative self-talk or self-doubt or just general frustration or even confirmation bias? Like I'm actually looking for things that confirm my judgments about myself, my doubt about myself, and I keep recycling them over and over and over. And maybe it's time to let yourself off the judgment hook, or at least explore it in a way that you could have more ownership in it and be less subject to being punched around by it. The reality is we are often judging ourselves, judging other people, judging our circumstances. So just for you, I've created a playlist on judgments. Obviously, I think about it a lot, and a lot of us think about it a lot, and we're subject to it in a lot of different ways. So check out that playlist. Let it be a resource for you to move away from the judgment and into a conversation that brings grace and empathy and self-compassion into your life. I hope this was resourceful for you. If it was, please like, subscribe, make a comment. I don't understand the algorithms, but somehow we need to let the algorithm know that this is something that people need to hear because we all struggle in this exact same way.